welcome to my tutorial for a crochet wristlet. So today I'm going to go through all the steps on how you can make these beautiful wristlets. The first thing you're going to need is one of these D-claw clips or any kind of clip and attachment that you want to use. You will need some cotton cord. So I am using 3mm cotton cord today. I've made a couple here. Now the one I'm using today is from Billy Bag Factory. This green one is also from Billy Bag Factory. I don't know if it's so clear on the video, but this navy blue one is from Bobini UK. And that's a 3mm one, but I don't know if you can see the cord itself is actually smaller, even though they're both 3mm. So I'm not sure why, but it may come out slightly different depending on the cord that you use. I am going against the grain. They recommend, I believe, 6mm crochet hook, and I am using a 5.5, so I'm going a little bit smaller because I want it quite tight. So again, have a little play, see how you find it, but for me that is bringing the wristlet out nice and tight, which is how I wanted it. You will also need some scissors to cut your cord, a yarn needle to weave in your ends, and we also need to measure the length. So your tension doesn't matter with this. You can just keep crocheting until it gets to the correct length. So I'm going to pop all these bits to the side so that we can get going. So starting with our hook and our clip and our cotton cord. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So taking our D-clip and our hook, we're going to attach the cord to the hook to begin with. So to do that, we need to create a slip knot. So taking your cord of choice into a cross, we go under the first loop, over the second, and pull that through. Remove our finger, and then we have attached it to our hook, so just tightening that up. So attaching to our D-clip, we want to place the hook through, and we're going to place a double crochet to attach it to the hook. Now I'm using UK terminology. With US terminology, that is a single crochet. So we take the hook through, we take our cord over the hook, pull through, so we have 2 loops on our hook, take the cord over the hook and pull through both loops. Oh. Try that again. There we go. And we're going to take 2 double crochets onto our hook, onto our clip, sorry. So we want to take our hook through, pull the cord through, take it over the hook again and through the 2 loops. So we should have 2 stitches at the top of our clip there. So it's a 2-row repeater. So for our next row, we're going to do a slip stitch. So we take the hook through the first stitch, take the yarn over, we're pulling through that stitch and straight through the loop there. Make sure we've got enough through, and we're going to do that again in the second stitch. So hook goes in and we're pulling the cord all the way through. So we have our 1, 2 stitches again. So the next row for our second row repeater, we're going back to the beginning, so we're doing a double crochet, single crochet US terms. Now to start that, we want to take 1 chain. So I'm going to take a chain and we turn. So we're going to skip that first stitch and we're working in the second. So we're taking the hook through, we're taking that double crochet, so we have the 2 loops on our hook. We yarn over and pull through both loops and into the second, hook through, pull up, we have our 2 loops, take our cord over and pull through and turn our work. Back to the second round with our slip stitch. So into the first stitch, we pull through, then into the second stitch and we pull that cord straight through. When we go to our double crochet row, we always want to take a chain first. So we chain and we turn. We miss that first stitch to work into the second 2. So I'm going in that second stitch, pulling through, cord over, pull through 2 stitches into our second stitch with a double crochet. Turn the work back to the second of our repeater, which is the slip stitch. So we pull that cord all the way through the first stitch and all the way through the second stitch. So this is what we were repeating until we get to our desired length. So for me, I think 30 centimeters is a really good length, but if you want to adapt that to your size, that is absolutely fine. So the main things to remember is when you are doing your double crochet, we always want to chain 1 first and turn. I like to leave the beginning of the cord left out, because when that is on the right side, that is a reminder to me that I am on my double crochets. When it's on the left side, I am working with our slip stitch. So I find that really helpful to have that there so that I know when it's on the right, I'm now going to be working my double crochets into the stitches. So this is where we want to keep going. Double crochet, turn, slip stitch, chain 1, turn. So I'll show you a couple more rows, and then the magic of YouTube, I will come to, what are we on? See, I've forgotten already. So there we go, double crochet because it's at the right side. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. So I'm going to do a couple more of these just to show you a few more. And then once I will come back once I've got to my 30 centimeters in length, and I will show you how to weave in your ends and how to join the end to the clip to turn it into your wristlet. So as I say, as I'm talking, I keep having to look down because I lose my train of thought and I have to remind myself where I am. So it is a handy little tip to remember when it's on the right, that is when we're doing our double crochets. Okay, so we just keep doing those 2 rows, slip stitch and a double, and oh, did that stitch a bit tight. I will see you when we get to our desired length. Okay, so I have finished the length of the wristlet. So I'm just going to check here with the tape measure that is, oh, I've wound it up too tightly, that is 30. So, well, 29.5, so that's about right. So we'll go with that. So I'm going to cut the end here and I'm going to pull that straight through. So let me zoom in a little bit closer while we do the weaving in. So it's entirely up to you which side you choose as the outside. I quite like the bumpy side to be on the outside and the smoother side on the inside. That's just a preference. I think it's nicer to have the smoother side on your skin when you have it on your wrist, but it's entirely up to you. So what we're going to do is thread weaving the ends of the side of the clip first. So placing that, oh, I've missed a thread, cut that and try again. Okay, so the best way I find it is to obviously make sure that you're weaving the end of into the inside of your wristlet, and try and do a little bit of a zigzag as you go in. So I'm going to go into here, and then it's just finding a little route. Around here is where we're going to join our end, so I try and avoid this area here. So on that note, I'm going to come up a little bit so that we're away from the end. You just need to be careful that you don't catch on any, which I have. Try not to catch on any of the ends of the thread. Find a good, no, I've caught it again. Third time lucky. There we go. We got it. Right, so make your way along and find, as I say, zigzag. That's why I'm going in and out to weave this end in, and then when you're happy you can cut that off. So I'm going to finish this one up. It's a bit fiddly, so I'm going to cut and move to the end piece. Okay, so I finished weaving in my end here, so I'm just going to snip the tail off, pop that to the side, and come round to our end piece. So now we want to join the end to the bottom of our D-clip. So to start with, threading our needle on, there we go, and I'm just going to secure this with another knot. So I'm just going to go in this end loop here and place the needle through and tighten up just to make sure that's nice and secure. So when we're folding our wristlet, we want to make sure that the side we want on the inside is on the inside. So I'm choosing to have the flat side on the inside, so I'm going to make sure that I'm folding that in. So what we want to do is line up. So we're going to weave the end stitches as close to the D-clip as we can, so around this area here. You don't want too much of a gap because that will look slightly odd, I think. So we want to make sure that it's as close as we can get. So I try and work around here. I go through twice, so I go in and back twice. So I'm going to start by going in this gap here. Now take your time. Again, it can be a little bit fiddly. You want to take your time with this so that it is, oh, I think I caught something there, because that's why we need to be careful and take our time. So we don't do that. So I'm coming in, I'm turning around, I'm trying to follow the stitches as well so it's not too obvious where I am, and I'm just going to go straight over to the other side. And I've got another stitch, I've got another, let's try again. See, this is the bit that's a little bit fiddly. I think that's right there. No, I've got it again. Try, there we are. There we go, and hold that into place, and then you can just have a look, pull it nice and tight, make sure you're happy, and then go back through to make sure it's nice and secure. So I'm going to go more into the middle this time. What I'm going to do, because it is a bit fiddly, I'm going to join you once I've finished weaving this in and show you where we're going to weave our end piece in. So I'm just coming to the end now. I also just wanted to point out that you want to make sure that you're going with the flow of your stitches, so it's not too obvious where your join is, and also make sure that you're getting the sides as well so that they're nice and secure. And then when you're happy, you then want to come into the center of your wristlet. So then you want to do just as we did before. You then want to weave in your ends on the inside of the wristlet, making a zigzag shape up. But again, you want to try and move with the flow of the stitches so it's not obvious when the wristlet is opened up. You don't want it to be too obvious where your end is. I've caught a stitch there, so let's try again. There we go. So weaving in and out all the way up until we've got that nice and secure. So I'm just weaving in through the last stitch there, and from there I can cut the end off, and there is our wristlet complete. As I say, it's a lovely quick project to do. Doesn't require too much cord or yarn, whatever it is you're using, so it's a nice quick little project, and it's a great little addition to your keys or whatever it is you want to use it for. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy making your own wristlet. Thank you.